Hi there, this is Todd with Industrial Comfort. I'm stepping away from fabrication today to do a little tool maintenance. Now, if you've got a thickness planer like this one, chances are you're going to have to replace the blades at some point. So today I'm going to show you how to do that on this Dewalt DW735. Now, I have no affiliation with Dewalt, but I'm going to speak real highly of this machine today. Not only is it just a great all-around machine, but they couldn't have made maintaining this machine any easier. The only thing that we're going to need for this process is the supplied T-handle wrench that it comes with. It has a nice spot right here on the top of the lid. It's a T30 on one end, and it's got some magnets to aid with the blade retraction that I'll show you in a second. So before we get started, you have to use gloves when you do this. I realize we're replacing blades because they may be duller or they don't work as well or they've got nicks, but rest assured, these things are still razor sharp. The other thing you're going to want to make sure is that this machine is unplugged. So remember, safety first. So we're going to use the wrench to get this top off. Now, during this process, I will use a driver just to speed things up. But remember, the only thing that you need to do this is the supplied wrench. So let's get started. There are 4 bolts, 1 in each corner. We're just going to loosen these up and the top will lift right off. I'm going to grab it by the sides here and the top comes right off. With the top off, you can see there are these 3 red bolts that have these very easy attachments that allow you to just unscrew them. Again, Dewalt couldn't have made this any easier. With the 3 red bolts now removed, we're going to take these tabs and lift up to remove the blade housing. And then we are going to just push it off to the side and remove it, which will expose the blades. With gloves on, I'm now going to rotate the blade so that I can get access to the bolts for the cutting heads. Now, you'll notice that the blade is not rotating. The reason for that is that there is a little blade catch mechanism off to the side here. You need to press this down, which will allow you to rotate the blade into place. The next thing that we're going to do is use the supplied T-handle and get these bolts off. I'm just going to loosen these and then I'm going to use the driver to get them out the rest of the way. Okay, with the screws out, all you need to do is take your T-wrench, which has these magnets embedded in the handle, and go like this to remove the cover. And similarly, we're going to use the magnets on the end of the handle to lift the blade out. Now, because this is the first time we're changing these blades or maintaining them, all we need to do is actually flip them around. These blades have 2 sides to them. Again, I'm just so impressed with how Dewalt thought this through to make it easy for the consumer. Now, you'll notice that there are 2 little steel tabs that are sticking up. We'll just want to align the blade to these tabs, put the blade back in place, and then we'll put the housing back in place, or the cover, I should say. Again, remembering to put the longer bevel pointing toward the camera or toward the entrance to the planer or the feed table. And then we'll put the bolts back in place. Since I'm not touching the blade, I'm actually going to remove my gloves because it's a little cumbersome to put the bolts back in. Okay, with the gloves back on, we're going to rotate the blade. And if you remember, you got to hit this blade catch before rotating the blade. Now, you've seen me do one, so I'm going to shut the camera off, do the other two, and then I'll turn it back on and show you how to put everything back together. With the blades now all rotated, we're simply going to reverse the process. So we're going to start by putting the blade shroud back in place. You just push it back into the fan assembly and then rotate it down. It'll go right into place, and then you want to put these 3 red bolts back in place. And then the last one goes over here. Okay, with those in place, we're going to drop the cover back on. And tighten the 4 corner bolts. Okay, now that everything is back together, there's one more step that I'm going to do. This is what I personally like to do, and you can consider optional. And that is to take some paste wax and coat the infeed, outfeed, and the central table here. Not only will this finish and protect, but it will also leave a nice glassy, smooth surface for your workpieces to slide through. Okay, with the feed tables now buffed, we're all done. I hope you found this helpful. As you can see, it's really easy to do. Dewalt does a really nice job of making blade changes super easy. If you found this helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks for watching.